I think that's so funny. All right, voice memos. Voice memo him, ladies, in the DMs.
The worst.
This is a shallow one, and I think it's so funny. It's like, he doesn't care to get to know me. He doesn't actually care to know me. I thought I was dating. No, I don't want to drop any names.
Oh, right. That's a lie.
That's controversial for sure. But I agree with him.
It is
I'm
the
sorry.
worst.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. So if you guys don't know, I have a podcast called Happy and Healthy. I have so much fun doing this. I talk about a bunch of different topics, and today's topic is gonna be dating. So you guys are gonna be watching the video format of the podcast with my friend Cayden Boyd. He's about to be here in a little bit, and we're about to do a podcast all about dating deal breakers. It's gonna be so good. So I polled you guys on my Instagram, which is Jeanine Amapola. Make sure you guys go follow that. And you guys popped off. You guys went off on a sister. So make sure you guys follow my Instagram if you want to participate in the next one. And if you don't listen to my podcast, it's called Happy and Healthy, and I upload an episode every single Tuesday. I love the podcasting. I think it's so fun, and I get into some real shiz in there. The most recent episode, I basically exposed myself, so definitely go check that out. It'll be linked down below. But yeah, Cayden's about to be here, so I will introduce him once we... So Cayden's about to be here, and I'll introduce him once he's here. So Cayden's about to be here, so I'll introduce him once he's here. So, drum roll please. Okay, everyone, this is Cayden Boyd.
Hi.
Welcome to the YouTube channel. He hasn't been on here before. Do you have anything to say to the YouTube followers?
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Great to be here. Happy to be here.
I love it. Okay, let me we're gonna start recording, so give me 1 second. Hey guys, and welcome back to Happy and Healthy. Happy freaking Tuesday. How's everyone doing? I'm doing amazing. It's actually a Sunday here, but we're pretending it's a Tuesday.
I was like, you just lied.
I straight up lied. Well, I do upload every single Tuesday, so today we're pretending it's Tuesday when it's really a Sunday. Okay, so you guys, I want to get right into this because we are bringing back Mr. Cayden Boyd.
Yeah, let's go.
So I polled you guys on my Happy and Healthy Instagram, and I was like, who do you guys want? And multiple requests for you.
I'll take it.
This guy's in demand.
That's great.
He is in demand. So snatched him up, got him back on the podcast. He was on the podcast before, and we talked about dating with intentionality.
Yes, intentionality.
Intentionality, dating. What else did we talk about? You know what?
All of the friendship, which that will probably come up again.
Yes. Should guys and girls... Wait, no. Does he like it when a girl asks him out first? Everything of that sort. So make sure you guys go check out that podcast, because if you want like more tea in there, more the original conversation, then definitely go check that out. It's called Dating from a Male's Perspective with Cayden Boyd.
There we go. Okay,
so for those who are listening that are new, tell them who you are one more time, just in case. Yeah. And for the YouTube viewers.
Great. So my name is Cayden Boyd. I live here in LA. I'm originally from Texas as well.
Yeet. That was so cringy.
You or me?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
Mine was so bad.
But I was born in Texas, grew up in LA. I'm an actor here in LA. And yeah, that's my...
He crushes it. He surfs.
I do surf.
He hunts. He does it all, ladies. Again, in the last episode, I was like, he is single.
Do it again. Last episode, she was dragging.
Oh, I totally dragged him, and I was like, everyone, go in his DMs. Did you get DMs?
Absolutely.
He definitely got some DMs.
He absolutely did.
What did they? Were they like, hey, I'm from Jeanine's podcast?
It was like, hey, I was told not to hit you in the DMs, but here I am. And I was like, okay.
To my listeners, way to go. Way to go. He needs more women in his DMs, because clearly he doesn't have enough. Okay, so that's who Cayden is. We're happy to have him back on the podcast. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, so today we're kind of around, well, we're somewhat wanting to, because you had your podcast with Rachel.
Yes.
Rachel Green.
Rachel now Green. She was Rachel Cheryl. We did an episode called Signs of a Toxic Relationship. Yeah. And the reason why I decided to bring Cayden back also was because one of my guy friends was like, I really feel like you need to kind of do this a little bit more from a guy's perspective.
You came for the guys.
I dragged men in that one. Okay, I'm not really like a feministic woman who I'm like, all men suck, because I really don't believe that.
No,
I'm actually
you're
very
not.
blessed to have some amazing guys in my life. But it definitely was more from a girl's perspective. And I was like, okay, we should maybe come from the guy's perspective of like, what are some toxic things or dating deal breakers? Because I have a lot of deal breakers. And I want to hear Cayden's perspective of this as well.
Yeah.
So, shall we?
About it, we totally shall.
Okay, so I actually polled you guys on my Instagram. I asked you guys also what your dating deal breakers were. We're going to be taking some like prompts from that as well. And man, y'all popped off. I'm telling you, like some of them were actually so funny and oddly specific, where I was like, wow, someone's really triggered by this question.
Yeah.
So what would be your number one deal breaker, you know?
Yeah, okay, so one thing, well, I also want to give like a few examples of, hey, if I was a girl, if I saw this would 100% be a red flag for me if I saw this in a guy.
Okay.
Like coming from a guy's perspective.
I like that. Ladies,
So,
he's looking out for you.
I
He
am.
really is. He's a good guy. He's got
I'm
a good
trying.
heart.
I really am
Look
trying.
out. He's looking out.
But I guess this is actually kind of one of them. It goes both ways. And we may have touched on this in the previous episode that you and I did together. But I would say physical boundaries.
Oh,
That's
yes.
like the first thing that comes to mind for me is, and I will say this, just because you meet somebody in church, just because they say that they're
He's about
Christian,
to go there.
just because they have a Bible verse in their bio on Instagram,
Yep.
or even if they're leading worship, it does not necessarily mean that you guys are going to be on the same page physical boundaries wise. I have found myself in situations where I've been very surprised given how I met that person or in the context that I knew that person. And then all of a sudden I found myself in a scenario that I did not expect to find myself in. And so I would say, so not only is it like to be on the same page physical boundaries wise, and that doesn't look like, hey, I don't think that we should do this. And then they say, oh, okay, well, cool. I mean, I guess I can get with that. Because then that's just them agreeing. That's totally different than them
having that mindset already.
Exactly.
Like that's like their lifestyle, their, you know,
Yes.
that's like already what their stance on it.
Yes.
You're absolutely freaking right.
Yeah.
I've been in the same position where I thought I was dating. No, I don't want to drop any names.
Oh, right.
But I was like, oh, this is like such a good guy, and then he didn't really respect my boundaries, and it's really, really hard. Like if both of you are not in agreement with that, then you're most likely gonna fall.
And not,
So,
like you said, not only like in agreement, but to me, it's like you're equally as intent in upholding those physical boundaries.
Yes.
So that one of you, is that your ice maker?
Yes.
Okay.
I know. I was like, what is he talking about? Okay, I know.
But,
yep.
You're equally as intent in upholding those physical boundaries so that when one of you is having a moment of weakness,
To put it that way.
yeah, I'll just put it that way, getting caught up in the moment, that the other person isn't sitting there kind of like waiting for them to let their guard down. That they're equally as intent in upholding those physical boundaries. So
could not agree more.
That's a big one in my opinion.
I like that. Ladies, that is so true. Like, I think that is so important, and I think it's also very important to be upfront about that from the very beginning of knowing your stance with that. Because you don't want to all of a sudden wind up in that position, and then you're like, oh, crap, we should have discussed this. So I think it's very, very important to discuss that early on. And also, personally, what I look for is a man bringing it up before I even say anything.
Good. Yes.
Because I was talking to this one guy this past summer, and he brought it up before I even mentioned it, and my respect for him went like through the roof. I was like, wow, the fact that he brought that up before I even said anything or even had to go in that position, I was like, that was amazing to me.
Absolutely.
So I love that. It's a really great point.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna say, what are yours? What's your first one?
I have a long list, you guys. Some of them are kind of like superficial. I'm not even gonna lie, because I mean, I was like, why not just have some fun banter in this?
Yeah.
And then some are like obviously deeper. But I would say like, I'm kind of stacking my thoughts here because on previous episodes. So make sure you go listen to my other ones because I have more of my thoughts on there. But some of my like minor ones are a guy that is social media obsessed, and knowing. Like if he's constantly on there and he's not present and he's also posting shirtless selfies, The shirtless selfie for me is like an automatic red flag deal breaker. I gotta go. I gotta get a plane to Bora Bora or something and leave because, like, I think that is so tacky, personally, in my opinion.
Especially if it's just over and over and over again. Absolutely.
Because I think that's a deeper issue, right?
Yeah.
I think it kind of shows that there might be narcissistic, or they're just obsessed with themselves, or their body is an idol, or they're also maybe seeking women's attention on their social media. I don't know.
Absolutely.
So many things I think that go around that thing.
Absolutely. And like you were saying, I think obviously like the social media obsessed can 100% go both ways.
Yes.
And then
for
doing,
sure.
you know, bikini selfies and stuff
Very
like that,
true.
you know, can obviously go both ways.
Yes.
So yes, absolutely. I agree.
And I also think, I was listening to another podcast about this, but also who that guy follows on Instagram.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I think that's so important as well, because who they follow also says a lot about them.
Yep.
I'm going to be very, very, very weary if you're following Playboy Bunny or some girl posting booty pics. Now, again, that's your prerogative if you want to post booty pics. I'm not judging you, but I prefer to not date/marry a guy that scrolls on Instagram every single day and is looking at the booty.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I'm kind of like a little bit upset. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Another thing I would add to that is, ladies, if you see, especially like I've kind of seen this argument from like, oh, well, I'm an influencer, like I'm trying to kind of
my job.
yes, I'm cultivating those relationships for collabs and stuff like that.
No.
And so like on all those bikini pics, you got guys that are commenting the fire flames, you know, the eyes emojis,
eggplants.
Yes, well, definitely that. The peach, for sure, the peach.
The peach and the eggplant, they should never go together unless you're married.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I would say like I think that that's a really bad excuse whenever a guy's like, oh, well, that's just a part of that's just a part of like my job. You know, I'm an influencer. I'm doing stuff like that, or that's my friend.
Right.
Yeah, I've unfollowed friends because I'm like, I don't need to. That does not need to be on my feed.
Yeah, and the mute button is your best friend.
Absolutely.
But also, like, what you have to remember is when you are entering a dating relationship, like, you are saying goodbye to your single life. You are saying goodbye to your old ways. You're letting that go. It's called dying to yourself. Like, love is a sacrifice. And so it's a sacrifice for a reason, because, yeah, you might want to follow that girl on Instagram or whatever. But, like, if you truly love the person, then you wouldn't, they shouldn't even have to ask you, in my opinion. The girl shouldn't even have to be like, why are you following this girl? Like, if you really care and respect about that person, you go and you unfollow that person already. Yeah. Not in a controlling, domineering way, but like thinking about the other person.
I mean, I think that's almost, if you see something in a guy where he's following all these accounts that seem very sus, or they're scantily clad, or whatever you want to say, I think that's almost, that might be an indicator of where that guy's at to begin with, if that's a relationship that you want to enter into to begin with.
I completely agree.
Yeah, because if I saw that on like one of my friends' phone, if I saw like he was following an account that was super sus, and I would bring it up to one suspect.
Oh, I never know what that means. How am I an influencer? Like, every time someone says that word, I'm like, what does that mean?
Suspect. Now we know.
I thought it was suspicious. It doesn't mean suspicious?
Suspect and suspicious, I think.
Like, what does it mean when someone say, let's suss it out? What does that mean?
That means let's feel it out. That's S-U-S-S. S-U-S is just, like, that's sus.
I feel like I'm getting, like, millennial code words, like, class 101 right now.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for breaking that down for those that don't know what sus means.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Did you have something else to add?
No, that was it.
Okay. All right, what is next on your list then?
Okay, well, this one's a little bit more, like, heavy.
All right, sorry, we keep repositioning the camera. Okay, so Cayden wants to do more of a more serious one. Yeah,
it almost kind of goes back to what we were just talking about, honestly. And you kind of had touched on this on a few episodes ago, this topic in general, but I would say if a conversation comes up, this is someone that you're dating, or it's a prospective dating partner, and the conversation of lust comes up, and in the form of porn, masturbation.
Oh, let's freaking go there.
Yes, absolutely. I was like, we gotta cover this.
Yeah, no, we definitely do.
If that conversation comes up, and that, I'll just speak as if it's a girl, like, bringing this up to a guy, I guess. Okay. And that guy treats it as if, well, yeah, I mean, that's something that I just do. That's like...
Every guy does it.
Yes, every guy does it. We all do it. Like, it's so pervasive in our culture, of course. Like, yes, I partake. They treat it as though it's a
hobby.
It's a habit, rather.
Habit,
or like,
habit, hobby,
like working out or brushing their teeth or whatever.
Ew.
I would say that would be a giant red flag.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I will say that is different from a guy that says, you know what, that's something that I've struggled with in the past.
Yes.
Or that's something that I'm struggling with, or that's something that I'm really growing through right now. Because that's great. There's actually like a book where it's basically about that topic called Every Young Man's Battle. I read it in high school.
Men, if you're listening.
Yeah, Every Young Man's
Check it
Battle.
out.
It's great. It is great.
Ladies, give it to your boyfriend.
Yeah. It's
or before you date him.
Right. But I would say, yeah, that is totally different than someone, like I said, who's like working through that, who's growing in that area. Because someone who just believes that as something that's necessary for them, like I know men that will go through their entire lives believing a lie, and that lie is that is a necessary thing for them. That's a lie.
That's controversial for sure. But I agree with him.
It is 100% a lie. Men do not need that. Men do not need porn. Men do not need masturbation. That is a lie from our culture that has been thrown out there, and it has become so pervasive. That has nothing to do with it. I'm getting fired up.
Yeah, you are.
That has nothing to do with the truth. That is completely believing a lie that is wrong as it pertains to our identity as believers, what we have inherited in our freedom through Christ.
Wow. So, amen. Y'all, we can end the podcast right there.
Right there.
That was so good. And that's probably going to be used in the promo because it was so good. And honestly, that is so counterculture. Like, especially we live in a city in LA, like that, it is so perpetuated here and it's pushed here, and it's a really toxic thing that ruins. Sorry, I grew up saying ruins. Ruins relationships and marriages. And I know a marriage that almost ended because the husband was addicted to porn, and he was addicted to it for like 6 to 10 years or something ridiculous. And she literally like filed for divorce because it was ruining their marriage so badly. And like the Lord like saved their relationship. So it's not something that we should just brush over.
No.
But you're basically saying that if a man struggles with that and just is like, well, F you, you can't control me, I'm going to watch this whether you like it or not, I personally think you need to end that relationship.
Yeah, I would be out of there for sure.
Yeah. I would not be okay with that. And I personally think as well, like, I think you can tell if a man is watching it. I think you can. I think you can. At least my spirit knows you act different. You're hiding your phone. You're sketchy with things. I think there's just signs where I'm like, something is off, or they're lustful, or they're trying to get you to do things. And I'm like, that's just weird. So personally for me, my spirit can tell when something is off with that.
Wow.
And so ladies, just be aware of that.
Yeah. And I don't think that that's like, I mean, obviously that's maybe a taboo conversation, or like that's an uncomfortable conversation to have. But I would say like on the other side of that, a incredibly like that was a red flag, and a great like go ahead that green flag is when they're like, that's something I've struggled with or struggling with, like I mentioned, and like I'm working through that with like some of my friends right now, because that tells you that they are in community. They are being like, this is kind
accountable.
of this is kind of Christianese, but they're known. They're like truly known and like doing fellowship. They're sharing those like intimate, like very intimate details of their life with their brothers, and they're challenging each other. That's inevitably going to lead to that area as well.
Good.
Sorry, I kind of cut you off.
No, you're absolutely right. I just think that's so important, and I think humility in a man, or anybody honestly, but humility, if I don't want to date someone that pretends they have it all together, because your true colors will always come out. I don't care when or how, but eventually they will. So you can only keep your front up for so long. And so if you're like, oh no, I'm perfect and I read my Bible every day and I'm blah 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 blah, like it's gonna come out that you're not reading your Bible or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
I really do believe that your true colors will be shown. And so I think it's so admirable if a guy's like, hey, I used to struggle with that, and I'm working and I'm trying to be a better man or whatever. Like, I don't need you to play this perfect card and like, I'm the most holy person, because everyone has flaws. We all have sins. We all have struggles.
Absolutely.
Like, I do.
Yeah.
He does. Everybody does. So, like, I think it's better just to own up to it from the start. And then that way, like, I can know what I'm getting myself into, because, like I said, eventually your true colors are going to be shown. I'd rather know what you struggle with up front than getting into it a year and a half later and being like, oh, this man is absolutely addicted to porn.
Right.
Now what do I do? Like, it's the sunken cost theory. Like, I'm sunken cost into this relationship. And it's really hard for me to want to leave this now because I love this person or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the...
That is the tea.
That was the tea. Man, we popped off on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think one that I recently started thinking about was when a man doesn't ask a girl any deep questions. I noticed this in somebody I was friends-ish with. And I was like, he doesn't care to get to know me. He doesn't actually care to know me. I'm just someone that's fun with him. I'm just his little whatever hang fun buddy. But I was like, he doesn't actually care to know me and my past and my family and really who I am. And I think it is so important for you, a guy or a girl, whatever, to ask the deep, hard questions, to truly know somebody, like you said, to be known.
Yeah.
But if you're going to marry the person, like, you sure as hell better know their past and what made them who they are and what they struggle with. Like, ask them the deep, good questions.
Yes.
Don't shy away from that.
Yeah. I know I said this because it's like one of my favorite quotes, but dating is the pursuit of potential permanent union.
Yes.
So, like Rachel had said, like, it's like a trial period.
Yeah, you're collecting data.
Yeah, there you go. You're collecting
my
data.
favorite
You're
term.
collecting facts. And so, yeah, if you're not asking some of those hard questions to know whether there is potential for a long-term relationship or even potential for marriage, praise God, then yeah, why? Like, you're not collecting data. You're not kind of doing your part.
Collect the data, ladies and gentlemen. All right, which is the next one on yours? And then we can get into some superficial ones. And I want to list off some of the ones that you guys sent to me on my Instagram, because some of them are funny. Like, they really are.
I had one where I was like just kind of talking about friendship.
He's got paragraphs on there.
Oh yeah, I got you.
He got like a script.
I told you, I was like, I'm taking copious notes as I was
This is
listening
like
to you.
the actor in you is like, I need a script, versus I'm like, let's just like go off on a whim.
Yeah. So, like, in regards to friendship, obviously seeing a guy have incredible community, or seeing a girl that's so immersed, like, in her community, has sisters around her that she is known by, that, to me, I'm like, bang, that is a green flag. That is great.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Waving the green flag as we speak. You guys can't see it on the podcast, but in the video you can see the green flag.
Where's it going to be?
In the middle, somewhere in between us.
Okay, great. But... so I would say that, and then, obviously, like, Rachel brought this up, is like the mingling of friend groups. Obviously, if there's two different friend groups, I have also seen, like, kind of on the other side of that, I have seen guys that have been like, oh, well, guess what? Like, I started dating this person, and now, I can basically, like, say goodbye to my friends temporarily, and they just ditch their guys, and they become so immersed in like their girlfriend's friend group, where I'm just they have completely abandoned their friend group.
Yes, and that's funny because that's actually one of my points, is also when they don't tell anybody, when he doesn't tell anybody about you. Yeah, that's really weird to me. That's a red flag to me. Like, why are you not sharing this girl that you like? Why are you not bringing her into your circle? Why are you not bringing her around? Why do you not care to either get to know her friends or have your friends get to know her? The isolation thing, that's weird to me. Do not let a man isolate you, or a woman. I mean, again, this can be a two-way street.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think the friend group thing is like super crucial.
I agree. And then another thing I was going to touch on is, like, we obviously, like, as a culture, we love romance, and we love talking about dating and marriage and relationships and romance, and, like, it's super important and it's super good. But sometimes I do wonder, I'm like, is it as important as how much we're talking about it? And sermons show, like, you name it.
We're a love-obsessed culture, relationship-obsessed culture. I mean, I get it. Like, all the movies and the shows, like, there's dating, The Bachelor.
Exactly, yes. I mean, there's so many things that's pushing romance, dating, marriage, and, like, where it's even in the church.
The church pushes it a lot.
Especially the church.
Yeah.
And I do wonder, I'm like, okay, I think we talk about all the time, like, okay, how to be a good, like, dating deal breakers, or, like, what to look for in a relationship. And sometimes I think, like, I mean, I know as far as I've been able to tell, the Lord talks about friendship way more than he ever talks about dating or marriage.
There's really not any much about dating in the Bible.
There's like nothing about
literally
dating.
Nothing
and
at
then
all.
like there's way more about friendship than there is about marriage itself. John 13:15 or John 15:13 through 15. I'm about to like read it right now.
Love that verse.
But yeah, I wonder. He talks about friendship all the time. So if we just knew how to be a great friend, if we knew how to be in kingdom relationship, sometimes I feel like the rest would take care of itself.
I completely agree.
If you know how to have healthy discourse with a friend in discussion, now how to treat that friend with respect, communicate with that friend, how would that not inevitably wrap itself, like come back into a romantic relationship?
That is so absolutely true. I even heard like a pastor say this, and I've said this before, like when you live with roommates, that is your training for marriage.
Yeah.
Cayden knows because he... Are we allowed to say anything about your roommates?
Yeah,
not necessarily. I mean, they're not going to listen, are they? I don't know. We're not going to say anything bad. I personally live alone, and I think it almost can sometimes be bad because I'm so used to being by myself, and I don't have anyone pissing me off.
Right.
No one leaving dishes in the sink. No one making noises, making the shower dirty.
Yes.
But you, like, Cayden has roommates, or did have roommates, but that teaches you about marriage. So whether it's roommates or friendships, like, that preps you for marriage because you're going to have, you know, like, disagreements with your partner.
Absolutely. Yeah, it totally teaches you. And then just like having friendships. I just got into an argument this morning with my really good friend who we both know. And like we had great we addressed it and then we moved on. Like we forgave each other, we totally moved on. And it is a relationship all the same. It's not a romantic relationship, but it's the bones are like absolutely still there.
Yeah, they still teach you something for sure.
Absolutely.
And I also think, like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in some sense you can kind of like, not to sound weird, but you can like date your friends.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's kind of what it is. Yeah. Like, for example, I had a friend who she got stood up by this guy. And her heart was absolutely crushed. So what I did was I was like, I'm going to send my freaking friend some flowers. Like, if that guy's going to stand her up, then I'm going to send her flowers and be the one to send her flowers instead.
Yes.
And so I think, like, you're kind of dating your friends until they get a significant other. Because, like, you know, I'm looking for qualities in my friends in a partner as well. Because I think you really are taking certain qualities from your friends and you're kind of putting that into one person. And so I think, you know, be the friend that you kind of want to date as well. Like, I hope that my friends, when they're dating someone, they look at me and they're like, Jeanine has amazing qualities that I would want in a partner one day. Yeah. Like someone that sees I have a bad day and they send me flowers. Like, I do that for my friends all the time. So I think kind of like dating your friends is a good thing to do.
Absolutely. Or like, knowing how to communicate to that person. Like what's going to be received. Like, what's like how to speak in love to that particular person. That's going to vary friend to friend. And then the other thing I was going to say is like, in keeping that up, like it doesn't matter if that person does start dating another person, if that person gets married,
it doesn't just dissolve all of a sudden. It doesn't disappear.
Absolutely not. Like I said, where does it ever say in the word that like marriage is here and then friendship, like once you get married, boop, like it happens there. It's like I think they're on equal playing fields.
I agree. You should not date your friends as soon as you get into a relationship. If anything, you should just merge the two.
Agreed.
I think that's a healthy thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we kind of got off topic. Let's get back into some more quicker deal breakers.
Deal breakers.
More quicker deal breakers. I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
I put Crocs and Chacos.
Yeah.
For me, I can't do Crocs.
Like on the regular wearing Crocs?
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, maybe around the house you're wearing Crocs, like and Chacos. Oh!
Not a fan of Chacos?
No, because Chacos are like young life boy. Like, camp counselor, like every guy in Texas wore them. And
Okay, yeah, this is where
I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, because I didn't grow up in Texas, so
Yeah.
like we didn't wear Sperry's in high school. Like
Oh yeah, y'all
nobody-
did the polos, the khaki
Yeah,
shorts.
We did not do that like in LA.
Y'all were like Vans and everything.
Absolutely Vans and high socks.
Texans
100%.
wear Crocs, and it is like, okay, the only person I will allow to wear Crocs is Post Malone. Because I like Post Malone,
Hey.
and he has his own line. Other than that, no, you have no business
No Crocs.
wearing Crocs. I'm so
No
serious.
Crocs.
No Crocs, gotta
Okay,
go.
Okay.
I
we'll
think
take it.
another one for me is bad hygiene. Like,
Well,
brush
yeah.
your teeth.
Yes.
Brush your teeth. Work on your breath. Like, whiten your teeth every now and then. I don't
Yes.
know. Like, go get a haircut regularly. Check your body hair. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Deodorant. It wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
It's like so basic, but I just think some guys don't know that.
Yeah, to me, I mean, that, where I go, I'm like, oh, yep, that automatically comes back to, like, an attraction thing for me.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
yeah.
like, oh, that's nasty, then I'm like, well, I'm not attracted
Yeah,
anymore,
no.
unfortunately.
The stinky
Yeah.
breath thing, I'm sorry. If you have stinky breath, I am so gone so quick. Like, I know
Yeah.
that sounds maybe superficial, but I mean, if you're going to be kissing this person, you would hope they would take care of their dental hygiene.
Oh, yeah.
So those are some random ones for me. Any other ones for you?
I agree. Can you go to the gamers one?
Okay, fine. He wants to go there.
No, I think it's, I mean, well, that's...
I literally wrote down.
Also, you can edit out any of
Oh no,
these.
we're going there because I wrote
okay.
it down.
Okay, fine.
I wrote gamers LOL. Okay, I don't really have a problem if you have a random game night with the boys or whatever. But personally,
Like
for
gaming,
me,
like we're talking like game systems.
yeah, like for me, I don't like a man that's trapped in his dungeon and he's sitting there in pitch blackness. There's chip bags, there's soda on the desk, and that's all he does. And if I can hear you screaming at the TV, that's gonna be an issue. Okay, of course, to each their own, because two of my best friends are married to gamers.
Okay.
So, and they don't mind. It is all based off of your, what's the word? Preference, thank you. But personally for me, I think I'd rather, be outside, hiking,
Absolutely.
surfing, doing something than sitting inside screaming at a TV screen.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, to each their own. You know,
Yes.
there's some girl gamers out there, I guess, and cool. But yeah, that's just never. That's
The
just
way you
never
said
been-
that was
not
so
very committed to that.
condescending.
I've never been a gamer. I've like always kind of been like pushed outside. I think I probably tried as a little kid, because that was like what 6th graders did, and then
Yeah.
I just was like, no, get up outside. And so that's
I'm not gonna lie, I actually was a gamer growing up.
Really?
I played The Sims.
That doesn't count.
Literally
Sims
from-
is sick.
Thank you!
Yeah.
I'm so glad you think
It's
that.
sick, yeah.
I literally used to play it for, I kid you not, like 6 to 7 hours straight.
Okay, that's a lot.
So I would say I was a gamer, but those days have passed. We've moved on to bigger, better things now. But again, if you are a gamer, that's totally fine. I personally just don't like that. So for me, that's a deal breaker.
That's cool.
Another one for me is partying and smoking.
Yeah.
That should be obvious, but I am not looking for someone that wants to go party every single weekend. If you're
Right.
getting drunk every weekend, if you're drunk texting me every weekend,
Yeah.
if you're smoking with the boys, whether that's weed or cigarettes or what, that's an automatic, you're gone, canceled in my book.
Yeah. I agree.
Need I say more?
No, that's great. And then, this kind of also, this can kind of come back to that, but, you see somebody, like as far as their alcohol intake, where it just seems, again, it's like very suspect. They're just, it's such a habitual thing. Or spending time one-on-one with either, if you're talking about a guy, like he's spending time one-on-one with another girl a lot.
Oh, yes.
I would say
that's weird.
would be a red flag.
Yeah.
Or if you're seeing a girl that's spending time with another guy one-on-one
Yeah.
a lot.
Yep.
That would be a that would be something I would kind of want to know more about
Right.
before I was just like, oh yeah, cool.
Again, when you are entering into a relationship, you
There you
are
go.
saying goodbye to your old ways. And not even your old ways, but just a different lifestyle.
Right.
Because singleness and dating and marriage are completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different? Somewhat different.
They're different.
But you have to make sacrifices. And so if you're going to be committing to somebody, you have to be okay with setting healthy boundaries. That's not even like
Totally.
you're just cutting off the person. You're setting a healthy boundary. You're communicating. There's honesty. There's transparency. There's
Yeah.
trust. to where if your significant other was like, not that they're going to be cuckoo, but if they're like, hey, let me see your text messages, you could be like, yeah, sure. Go look at my text messages between me and him. Because I have nothing to hide because we're just friends.
Yep.
So I would be very weary of that.
Yeah.
All right, should we look at the Instagram ones?
Let's do it.
Okay, we're going to start like naming off some of the ones from Instagram because, again, y'all are funny.
Any animal whatsoever?
I don't know.
What?
Some of my friends are crazy, man.
That's hilarious.
Someone,
what about dogs? Dogs are great. Like, if they had any animal
I guess
whatsoever.
so. I don't know. I don't mind if my significant other has a pet. Like,
No.
I personally want pets.
Yeah. Now, if they had, if there was some girl and she had like tarantulas or something like that.
Oh, that'd be strange. And a snake, no.
That might, I might walk in there and be like, hey, I gotta go. Actually, I gotta go. Like, you got nasty stuff in here.
Yeah, no.
You got nasty stuff. I gotta go.
Someone commented a bald head. That's just so mean. Y'all, there's a lot of bald people out there that need love too.
Disrespectful.
Come on, y'all. Bald heads they need love.
They do.
But that's this person's prerogative, is bald heads.
That's fine.
Someone said, okay, not teachable. That's a really good one. I think that's obviously a very good, they have to be teachable.
That's a good one.
If she's married, that should be a deal breaker.
I would say that's a pretty good red flag. You should probably.
That should be a deal breaker.
Absolutely.
Someone commented screaming.
At the TV playing games.
I don't even know what that means.
Screaming.
One of my friends said bad teeth.
Yeah, that goes back to attraction.
Hygiene. Third party said flip flops.
Really? Flip flops. Okay.
We should pick her brand about that one.
That
my
is
friend said
hilarious.
flip flops. That goes into the whole Crocs, Chacos things.
Yes.
Flip flops. Someone said a mom that is overly involved in a relationship because she's a little racist. That sounds very...
That's very specific.
Specific in particular.
Yes, but also, a mom that is overly involved, I'm like, okay.
That is a very good one.
I think that makes sense.
I completely agree.
Yeah, because that would show maybe a lack of independence.
Yes.
Or having a close relationship with a family member
is
wonderful, that's beautiful. But yeah, if it was just... they were involved in every aspect of your relationship, I could see how that would maybe be a deal breaker.
I'm going to be a little weary if you chat with your mom every single day.
Really?
Not like I would love that you have a good relationship with your mom, but if you... I don't know. I'm going to be careful with what I say here. I just think it can be right. Like he's saying, like a lack of independence, or your mom has her hand in everything you do. Yep. My dad witnesses personally with his mom, which is my grandma, and he had to really separate himself because she was trying to control everything he did. Like to the point where like she didn't want him marrying my mom. And because my mom wasn't German, and so she was like, what are you doing? You're supposed to marry a German. And my dad was like, look, leave and cleave, gotta go. I'm going to marry her anyway, and I'm glad he did because obviously here I am. Yeah. So at some point, like, you got to have your own certain independence apart from your family, I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said if they're rude to servers or strangers.
Oh my gosh.
That's so
I think
true.
That's so, honestly, I think I may have talked about
you
that
said
in
that
the last
one.
episode.
Yeah,
I did?
I completely agree.
Yeah, because that's such a reflection of how you treat someone who is serving you. Yeah. Someone that you don't know, like that's such a reflection of what you think of them, and you're only saying probably half of what you actually think.
Snap.
And so, I think that's a very big indication of how they're going to treat people.
Completely agree. Okay, someone said secrecy. That's a good one. Secrecy is a very big deal. Like, who are they really in secret? That's what I want to know. Who are you when the doors are shut and you're all alone? Absolutely. Because that's fishy. Yeah. It's like hard because it's not like you can know that. Right. But I do think what's done in the darkness will always be brought out into the light eventually, and it'll start showing in other ways, and it'll manifest in different ways. Yeah. So just keep your eyes peeled for that.
And I think that's why it's kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. That's why it's such a good thing when you see a guy or when you see a girl that is in kingdom relationship, that's in really close friendships with brothers or sisters, and you can just tell that they truly know one another. Yep. In like the analogy of like you have a house and like you kind of keep that one room locked off, like where it's just you go in there. Right. Like for me, for my house, I want every light to be on. Yep. I want all
doors open, every door open.
Absolutely. I want my friends to be able to go, hey, what's that? I want them to be able to see every room in my house, so that I'm truly known. Like, I don't want to be keeping secrets. There are some friends I have where, like, they know everything about me where it's like,
scary.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
But they truly know.
Oh, that's my best friend
everything
Sarah
about me.
Penny. She literally
Yeah.
knows everything.
Yeah.
Everything. As they should. As they
Yes.
should. You need
Yeah.
someone to have that.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said guys who cuss a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's obvious to me. Like, it's just gross. I don't personally like that. If it slips out every now and then, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be like, ew.
Yeah.
But if it's a habitual thing, or if I constantly see you dropping the F-bombs, if like someone cuts you off, I'm going to be like, whoa, you have anger issues you need to like figure out.
Totally. And I think that that's just, and that absolutely goes both ways.
Yeah.
I think it's just an indication of that person's thinking and where they are at, and especially also like, and then how they're going to communicate to you potentially as well.
Yeah. Okay, someone said, it's so stupid, they said boogers.
Hygiene. A lot of these
Back to hygiene.
A lot of these all come back to being attracted to the person.
Yes.
Like,
I just think that's funny that all the person said was boogers.
I get it. I don't disagree.
Someone else said never stops talking for even a second. That's a good one though.
It's a really good one.
Because then that means they don't really care about you and they just want to only have you hear about them, and that seems like arrogance to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's some of these things where it's like, it's a style situation, or like they don't stop talking, or like maybe they don't, do this thing, gaming, like where it's just that might kind of come down to like lifestyle differences.
Yes.
And like that's totally okay. Like you may not end up wanting to be with that person anyway because you guys are so vastly different and care about very different things.
Yeah, again, all these can be very subjective, you guys. Like, it's based upon your preferences, but I'm just kind of saying, like, general things. So I'm just going to list off some. Desperation.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Being inappropriate. Bad hygiene. Laziness. Someone who lacks character. Confusing. I think confusing. Go back and listen to our other podcast.
Yes.
That one, this touches upon that. Lack of intentionality. Someone who can't talk about their faith. That's a really good one.
Oh, absolutely.
That's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm personally looking for someone that's very, not bold and haughty about it, but someone that's not ashamed of the gospel, that it's evident in their life, that they share that with people and at the good times, and that they're not, it's not like I actually did know someone that this guy was like, I'm more personal about my faith and private about it, and I'm like, the gospel is meant, sorry, waiting for my neighbors to leave. Someone that's not private about it, because the gospel is meant to be shared. It's meant to be something that we're supposed to be sharing with people. Yeah. So that's weird.
I feel the same way. I think that I personally am looking for a woman. I'm like, no, I want someone like who is bold in their faith. I think mainly because if dating is the pursuit of potential permanent union, that was someone I would be in a long-term relationship, would be my wife, potentially would be the mother of my children, potentially. That's where I'm like, no, I want someone who's bold, like speaking that over my children.
Amen.
And like, yes. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, we are getting kind of long here, so I'm going to go ahead and list off a couple more random ones. Not good with kids, not good with parents. Yeah. If he talks about his ex or other girlfriends on the first date, snap! Yeah, that person's probably not over their ex if that's the case.
Probably not.
Obviously, unless you're the one that brings it up, but if they're just like, oh yeah, my ex, I'm gonna be like, man. You clearly have some open wounds you have not dealt with.
Yes.
Clingy texters. Ooh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that because, like, your girl's busy. She's working during the day. I don't like someone that's texting me every 2 seconds. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing now? Now what are you doing? Like, that would drive me absolutely bonkers.
I'm just a horrible texter to begin with. If you've probably heard this shade anyway.
Yeah, but someone said something about that in here.
Oh, a bad texter. Also, I'm a dry texter, so if that's in there,
he's a voice memo guy.
I'm a red flag for sure because I am a dry texter and not a good texter, so I might be a red flag in that way. Well, I'm growing in this area also.
I think someone wrote that in there when someone says that they're a quote unquote bad texter, and someone was like, no, you're not a bad texter. You're just lazy and you don't care.
Agreed.
Do you think that's true? I think that's pretty funny.
No, I don't think that's true. I disagree with that, actually. Now, I think, because I also, like, I totally do this to my friends, and my friends absolutely have called me out where they're like, I know you saw that text.
Yeah.
And then you chose not to respond. And so
a lot of people do that,
But
some
people love it. Some people love texting, and that's great. That's so
yeah,
great for them.
I don't really.
I can't stand it.
I like voice memos.
Yeah, so I'm
calls.
a big. So I've found my like mutual ground, or my middle ground rather, and that's voice memos for me.
Okay, all right, voice memos. Voice memo him, ladies, in the DMs.
The worst.
I'm dead.
I actually would. I would 100% listen to a voice memo.
I think that's more personable.
Absolutely.
I really do. Like, if a guy sent me a voice memo, I might be a little bit creeped out, but I also might be like, oh.
But you're gonna listen.
I'm gonna listen for sure.
And then you're gonna peep.
Yeah.
You're gonna peep their
because
feet.
you don't know what the voice memo is gonna say, so you're forced to listen.
Absolutely.
So again, slide in the DMs with that for Cayden.
Horrible.
Okay.
Also, do you get that? You can absolutely edit this out.
Yes.
But do you hate it when like a guy slides into your DMs and then he's private?
Yes,
Because then you can't even creep.
I need to stalk you.
Exactly.
I need to know if you have a dog, what you do, where you live. Yeah, I completely
you
agree.
You can't even creep. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I can only tell by this tiny little.
And what I do is I screenshot it and then I zoom in and I'm like, oh,
you just outed yourself so
and it's
badly.
so pixelated and I'm like, crap.
I've never actually done that.
Really?
But that's genius.
Oh,
yeah.
life hack. We got life hacks over here.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny, though. Yeah, please be public so we can creep on you, please. Okay, here are this is a shallow one, and I think it's so funny. Someone said if they have an Android. I think that's so funny. I think it's so good because, like, I don't want my text going green.
Absolutely.
No green text messages.
And also, that means no voice messages, so I would for sure be out.
Yeah,
I would for sure.
Cayden's for sure out.
Or either that or, like, I'm like, I'll get you an iPhone or something. Like,
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that
that's
would be.
so funny.
I've actually.
Is that genuinely deal breaker for you?
No. What,
okay.
the voice, the text
the Android.
Thing?
No, saying. Not but, literally, it'd be hard.
Yes, I would be calling a whole lot, which I call in FaceTime anyway. Like, I'm a big caller, FaceTimer. Yeah.
I'm just such an Apple person, like everything I use, and I don't mean to sound pretentious or like privileged, but like everything works together in unison with Apple, and so it's just nice, and so I personally like Apple.
If they have an Android.
But if they have an Android. Hey, that wasn't me who said it. This girl Raquel said it first, so thank you, Raquel. Okay, last two. Someone said a dirty house or car. I completely agree with that.
Yep.
That is reflective of kind of like your life, and I just think that's gross. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to get in your car and there's trash bags everywhere and dirty food sitting in your French fries.
Yes.
Oh, I think having a clean house or car is very nice, and it's nice for the other person, for them to come over and not feel like they're sitting on your slimy, grimy whatever.
Yeah.
That's just a random thing.
No, I think I swing in the opposite direction, where I'm a little controlling and a little neurotic about keeping
I witnessed
things
it
clean.
one time. You literally had like a mental breakdown.
I did. It also had been a long day. We had been driving.
You were driving for like 6 hours.
I was hungry. I was tired, and
Get the man a burger, give him some food.
I got a little triggered because my roommates had left it. I was scared they had left it a wreck, and they did. And so, I swing to the other side. Again, I think that's just like a compatibility, that's just a lifestyle thing. Either you're both going to be growing in that, or, find common ground.
Yes. Yeah. All right, you guys, that was a lot. Obviously, you guys, like, popped off, and I loved all the feedback. Dating deal breakers, there's so many more we could list off, obviously. Yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this thus far. Make sure to check out the other podcast with Cayden, also the signs of a toxic relationship, and then also my first podcast, which was qualities to look for in a partner. This is all compiling. So if you are in the dating game, you're single and ready to mingle, check those out, because I think that has some good nuggets of truth for you. I always say that, but I really think there's some good nuggets.
Absolutely.
Hopefully there are Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets in there. So it's the best with Chick-fil-A sauce.
A little Chick-fil-A sauce.
We love
Polynesian, maybe.
Yes, Polynesian. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cayden, for being back on the podcast. You guys asked him to come back, and we did this for you guys. Let them know where they can find you again.
Yeah, I'm at Cayden Boyd, Cayden Boyd on Instagram.
Yes.
And I don't have a YouTube.
He does not have a YouTube.
I have
Maybe one day. He has a TikTok. He doesn't use it.
I'm not on TikTok.
He doesn't
very much.
use it.
Yeah.
So again, just the DMs are open for him 24/7.
Stop this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, guys, don't spam him. Maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. Give him the 2 a.m. you up text message.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
He loves those.
I won't respond. Island.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let us know your feedback of this on my Happy and Healthy Instagram or my account, Jeanine Amapola. Again, you can follow Cayden. And I hope this was helpful. My trash can just opened.
I saw that.
It's creepy. I have no automatic trash can, so there's that. Stay happy and healthy.
I know what you do.
Thank you, Cayden. I almost forgot to say that. Okay, bye, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I upload every single Friday. Check out the podcast down below. Stalk Cayden on Instagram. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.
Stay happy and healthy. You forgot it again.
I forgot again. Stay happy and healthy. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye, guys.